I had a conversation with my father for the first time in 20 years, and as you'd imagine with any kind of situation like that, it never goes the way you expect it to, does it? And I'm not too sure what came over me to have my mom give him my number to reach out. He lives in Hawaii, I live in Scotland, and I didn't expect him to call an hour later. All I knew is that I was going to be talking to a man who looked down on me when I was a baby with a lifetime full of possibilities and decided he didn't want to be a part of that, and eventually I would look down on him and have nothing but questions and no way to get them answered. So part of me wanted them answered, and I think a bit of a sicker part of me wanted to show him my beautiful life, my education, my success, my businesses, my friends, the people who I love, and I wanted to rub them in his face, be like, look what I got without you, and in fact I am better that you had no input in my growing up. But when he called me, the only thing I said is, how are you? What have you been up to? And in that call I learned about how he felt with his father passing, and I learned how he felt with his mother slipping into dementia and passing. I learned how happy he is in life, and that he's found religion, and that he prayed to God to fix his kidneys. Around the same time my kidneys started to fail, so I don't know if that was God you made a deal with there, pal, but appreciate it.
Daddy, chill.
And as we talked, I realized for the last 20 years I felt numb to his existence, and I think he also felt numb to my existence, to where the conversation felt like you were on the call with a telemarketer, being polite, cordial, maybe trying to figure out what the fuck do you want. It's not fair to him, because I was also trying to figure out what I wanted, and I realized halfway through the conversation is I just wanted him to ask me a question. Any information that he got from me, I forced upon him, and I realized, and I wrote down on a sticky note, that this man hasn't asked me a question in 20 years, and why did I want him to know? But he ensured that he loved me, and that he thought about me constantly. The blame of why he left and why he stayed away all this time always pushed onto someone else, and I had to stop myself from saying, we're both adults. No one could ever stop me from talking to my child as an adult or trying to establish a relationship in some way, some form, even as a kid. They say, not without at least being apologetic for my behaviors that made a child say, hey, you're kind of a fucking dick, dude. But I had the phone call, and at the end of the phone call, I didn't feel any different. I didn't tell him how amazing my life was. I didn't rub it in his face. I didn't tell him how much of a better man I am than him. I didn't tell him much about me because I don't think he wanted to know much about me. And that is the part of adulthood that is hard, is you no longer see the people who gave birth to you, the people who gave you life as parental figures, but just humans, fucked up little humans.
It is what it is.
And I guess the gift to myself is that when that day does come, as it comes for all of us, it is inevitable. I won't hold it against myself to say if I reached out, maybe we could have had a relationship, because, you know, the last 20 years he hasn't changed much and I've changed too much. I won't ponder if we could have had a relationship, because in the last 20 years he stayed the same and I've changed too much, which is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grow, we're supposed to change, we're supposed to take accountability. And I think I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't a little hurt. Maybe too much time as a child, I wondered who I'd be with a dad, and that life was always taken away from me. But at this point, what good is blaming anyone? All you can do is try to have a phone call to see if